Hey all, it's me, Vivian from ThePaperLetterBlog, also known as the Chatty Pen Pal channel, coming to you with a wax sealing video. Now, this video has a little bit of everything. I have some fast wax seal, like sped up wax sealing. I have some zoomed in real-time wax sealing. I have a lot of wax pours. I have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of fun color combinations, and I hope it gives you some ideas. So some of the clips will be fast, some of the clips will be slow. At the end, I also have 2 or 3, I don't even remember how many clips of real-time wax sealing. So I hope this is relaxing and fun to look at. Of course, being the Chatty Pen Pal channel, I'm going to talk you through each and every one of them, and I'm also going to include some wax seal tips and tricks. If you're interested in learning more about wax, a long time ago I made a video, basically wax sealing 101. I think it's called What's on My Desk Wax Seal Supplies. I will link it down below in case you're interested. It's quite old, but I think still quite relevant as well. To paint a little picture for you, it's snowing. I am in the Netherlands and we've had a lot of snow. For us, it's a lot of snow. For other countries, probably not that much. So I'm looking out at the snow and I have a cat asleep on my desk, a little Sage. I put her pillow, I should say, on my desk, and she immediately accepted it. So I can do a voiceover while looking at a sleeping cat. Can it get any better than that? I think not. Now, I was away from YouTube last week. I have been dealing with a bit of the lockdown blues, so I thought it's best to just take a break, just take some time for myself, and it helped. I have to admit, I'm quite excited to be back. I also realized when looking at my YouTube statistics, I don't look at them too often because you can really focus so much on the numbers and it takes away the fun. But when I looked at them, I realized that in like my top 20 videos, 5 of them or even more are wax sealing videos. So for some reason lately people have been watching my old wax sealing videos, so I thought it's time to upload a new one. And I really hope you will enjoy this one as much as those. So yeah, fun fact for you there. I also want to say that this week is my birthday week. The previous years I would usually just keep it a little bit of a secret because I'm not a big fan of birthdays, especially not now that we're in lockdown and I don't know, I can't do anything, I can't see anyone, but I have decided to once again do a birthday live stream. So this Friday at 3 my time, 3 in the afternoon my time, so Amsterdam time, I will be going live. I'm also going to create an event so that hopefully you guys should see a countdown to the live stream. It would be fun if you could join. I'm a little bit nervous because, I don't know, it's still scary even though I've done many live streams, but hopefully that will be fun. So now let me talk you a little bit through the wax sealing. Here is some of them up close. You can see that I like doing many different things, and I can give you those tips as well. Of course, you can do what I do most often, and that is combine colors. So I love doing that marbling effect. For example, the one we're making now is pink and peachy pink, but you can do gold with many colors. You can do purple and blue like we're doing on the next one. I usually like looking at the project or the envelope I will be sealing, and then I like to go from there. So when you do purple and blue, for example, you get this lovely look. So one of the things you can do with 2 colors or 3 colors is of course marbling. So basically you let them melt in the same spoon without stirring them. And another thing I like doing sometimes is actually using a paper clip to stir it all the way through so that you get a completely new color. I have to admit, that sounds so super simple, but I often forget. So that's why I wanted to include that in here as well. And then for wax sealing, of course, you can add things to the wax as well. You have to be fast though, because hot wax cools down pretty fast. Things you could, for example, add are sequins and glitter. I don't do that too often because I always mess it up, but that's fun. You could also add dried flowers or leaves. I have seen recently on Instagram, I forgot the username, but she didn't add dried flowers, just dried flowers, but she had flower petals, and then she kind of crushed them, so you had like flower petal flakes. That looked so incredibly cool. I loved that. In the past, I've also added ribbon and lace to my wax seals, or you can add stuff like buttons, and probably there's a lot more things you can add. I'm hoping people will add some more ideas in the comments. I also do a lot of coloring. So once I have made a wax seal, I will color in the design with a metallic pen. The ones I use are from Stabilo. I believe they're called metallic. Is it 68? I forgot. But basically, metallic Stabilos works well for me, but I think there's more options. I just couldn't tell you them because this is just what I use. Yeah, so this is me coloring them in. That's the markers that I use as well. What I made here, I think I already showed you that, is a sleeve, basically a vellum. I had a vellum scrap and I turned that into a sleeve for some decorated tickets, and I put a wax seal on that because that just looks really fancy. Oh, I almost forgot one of the best tips that I have ever gotten and as well given. That is what you see me do right here. I think I've been doing it throughout this video probably, but use baking parchment or kitchen parchment as a background if you want to make wax seals that you can peel off and send as gifts. So when you use baking parchment, the wax seal comes right off, and you can either, like I said, send them as gifts, or you can glue them to your envelope or to your project later. That, however, is less successful with me. I find that making the wax seal directly onto the envelope, although daunting, works better in terms of sticking. So when I do a glued wax seal onto an envelope, I find that it does get lost more often, simply because it doesn't stick as well as the wax directly onto the paper. I hope that makes sense. So that's another tip I have. Then as far as wax sealing the process goes, the best tip I can give you, and the thing that I see going wrong most often, is heating up your wax too much. A lot of times people ask me, Vivian, how do you get your wax seals so smooth? I always get bubbles in mine. Bubbles, very simply, always means your wax is too hot. So when you get bubbles either in the spoon or when you pour the wax, you've just made the wax too hot. That's not a big deal. When I get bubbles, I like saying bubbles. When I get bubbles, I simply peel off the wax seal and I remelt it. And when I get bubbles in the spoon, I simply stir it through and I just let it cool down a little bit. That is why in these videos you will very often see me work with 2 spoons at the same time, simply because I will, that is to make sure that they don't get too hot. I just swap them around so that both of them heat up, but not to the point of overheating it. I already mentioned that, but that's another great tip. If you don't like the wax seal you've made, simply peel it off, especially if you're using baking parchment, and remelt it, because you can just melt it, as far as I know, as often as you like. It's also a great way to test and to practice wax sealing baking parchment, and then just remelt your wax when you're not satisfied. It's as easy as that. Also, another thing I'm going to tell you is, this is gold flakes. I forgot, you can also add gold and silver flakes to your wax. Another question I very often get is, can you use wax seals on outgoing envelopes? And yes, I found that if I seal an envelope, especially thinner mail like letters, they survive, I would say 95% of the time. Of course, it does happen sometimes that the wax seal gets damaged, or for example, one of those mail sorting machines kind of chafes off the top or dents it a little bit. But as far as I know, that could happen to envelopes as well. So when you're willing to take that chance, I would say go for it, because wax sealing is a really, really fun way to close a letter. I have to admit, I don't do it for every letter because I have to get up my supplies, and sometimes I just want to send out the mail. And also when the envelope is bulky, I don't do wax sealing because I don't know. Wax sealing a bulky envelope is difficult. But as far as I know, wax seals survive. It probably also depends on the quality of wax you have, but I can't say too much about that. Another question I got quite recently is, what is better value? Wax seal beads or wax seal sticks? For this wax seal you saw me use a stick as well. It's basically the same, it's just wax, but then in the shape of a stick instead of beads. And I honestly cannot really tell you about what's better in value. When I use the wax seal sticks, very often I will just cut off little pieces, but I personally find wax seal beads easier to use simply because I know that I need 2 to 3 per wax seal depending on the size. And with wax seal sticks, I usually kind of guess and I cut off what I think I need, and then I always get it wrong. So it's just a matter of preference. And there's also a lot of price difference in wax seal beads. I know shops like Note and Wish also sell wax seal beads, but they're quite expensive. I'm guessing their quality is really, really good, but I usually just get mine off from AliExpress, and then again the price differs pretty much. So you have expensive and you have cheap. My best tip for that, because people ask me like, do you have a specific store you purchase from? No. The only thing I look at is the comments, like the reviews. So always try to find a shop that has many reviews, because they will usually tell me if it's good quality or not, and if it's good value or not. I cannot really give you one shop because I ordered from many different shops. That's me adding glitter. We're going for the glitter this time. So that's another question I very often get. And like I said, I order most of my wax sealing supplies off of AliExpress. The only thing I realized recently is that a lot of the designs are stolen designs. I, for example, have one gorgeous wax seal that I did get from Note and Wish, the store I mentioned before. It's the one with the envelope and the flowers coming out. And then I also found that design on AliExpress, even though I know it's their original design. The AliExpress store even had the audacity to put Note and Wish's name in the description. So it's like Note and Wish wax seal stamp. So I sent them a message saying, hey, I'm guessing this is not you. And they were like, oh my god, our design got stolen. And that's just very sad. So yeah, I did want to put that out there. I hope that none of you are going to start looking for the Note and Wish wax seals, because it's basically just stealing. But I did want to put it out there. Basically, be careful with what you purchase. I realized that there's not an easy way to know if a design has been stolen or not, but that definitely put me off of buying off of AliExpress a little bit. This wax seal is kind of special to me. It's a dried hydrangea that I got from my grandmother's flower garden. Sadly, my grandmother passed away last year and I miss her very much. Hydrangeas really remind me of her. So when I was sending my mom a card, I have had this card for forever. It's again a hydrangea card. I decided to go full hydrangea theme. So a dried hydrangea and then a hydrangea stamp. So that's why I wanted to show you this full process. It's kind of special to me. I realize now that I have a lot more questions I could answer also, just hopping from stories to questions to answer. One of the questions I very often get is, how do you clean your spoon? And the short answer is, I don't. I know that when you heat up, when your spoon is still hot, you can very easily remove the wax from it with a paper towel. Be careful not to burn your fingers. But I personally prefer just to reuse the spoon. I have a couple different spoons. So I will have one that has pink wax in it, I will have one that has blue, and one that has green. But even if I don't have the right color spoon already, I will just put the wax in the... what I usually do is I'll put one wax bead in first, and then I will stir it all the way through so that the wax that was still in the spoon is kind of disappeared but still doesn't go to waste, and then I'll put the second bead in to get the color I want. So just a little tips and tricks. What you could also do is, of course, once you're done with your wax seal, pour out the remaining wax onto some baking parchment to be used in the future. One last tip I have that I really very recently got from the account Science Notes up on Instagram is I have those blackened spoons, right? The backs of the spoons or the bottom of the spoon is completely black. Apparently, I have not tested this out yet, but apparently that does not happen when you trim the wick of the candle all the way down. So when you have a teeny tiny minimal wick from a candle, apparently that should do the trick. I'm going to test this out and I will let you know in the next video, but I do want to share that because maybe you guys can test it out as well. Anywho, that was today's video. A big thank you to my patrons, of course, for being super duper awesome and supporting the channel, and I will talk to you again very soon. Okay, bye bye.